As most of us know, Busch Gardens Williamsburg's Pantheon will be opening in March 2022. I haven't seen that many YouTubers make a whole video about how Pantheon will really be. It has basically been gwazi, and Pantheon hasn't been talked about enough. So in this video, I will be talking about how good Pantheon really can be by comparing it to other similar rides and elements. This is Coaster Heaven, and welcome to a new video. Okay guys, so the way I will format this video is by looking at each element on the ride and trying to compare it to other rides' similar elements, and looking at people's reaction to that element. The first real element on this ride is the first launch. This launch goes from 0 to 36 miles per hour in about 2 seconds. This launch is not going to be very forceful and not the greatest element of all time, so I will skip by this element as it will just be a pretty lackluster launch, I feel like, but I could be wrong. Alright, so the next element is a zero-G roll, and I know people love these elements, especially me. Zero-G rolls have been known as one of the best inversions. I just know this will be a very good element based on a lot more zero-G rolls, including the one on Alpengeist here at Busch Gardens. Then a low to the ground turn and a few S-hills taken pretty slowly, so there probably won't be any airtime on these little S-hills, and the little turn probably won't bring that much force, but just a fun transition element into the craziness of this ride. Speaking of craziness, the first launch on this ride, I guess the second launch, rockets the train to 50 miles per hour in 3 seconds, so a pretty fast acceleration, but you will still have a very good sense of speed. This next element will be a comparison to another element on another ride. This element is basically a rollback where you launch, but you don't have enough force to make it up the top hat, so you just fall backwards. This element I will bring up to is on Top Thrill Dragster. This is a very different scale, like half the height, even less than half the height, but it will still have a pretty good sensation of what it will feel like. This backwards launch will rocket you over a small bunny hill and then rocket you up a very tall spike. This launch is going to accelerate you to 61 miles per hour, so it looks like to be the second most powerful launch so far on the ride. So far, I haven't found any roller coasters in America with backwards rolling launches, so I can't really predict how it will be. My guess is that the launch is going to be pretty similar to Cheetah Hunt's second launch, but backwards. Then you go up this backward spike where you are just super high, and then you just drop. You stall for a second, and then you drop. I think this will feel pretty much like a drop tower, a forceless drop tower. It's just going to be a super cool sensation. The last launch of the ride is going to be the best, as it powers you up to 68 miles per hour in about 3 seconds. You're already going to have a lot of speed, but the sense of speed on this is just going to be amazing. I predict that when you, in the front row, when you reach the top of the crest of the top hat, it'll feel really good, and you'll have a lot of airtime. Speaking of the top hat, this top hat looks like the third best element on the ride, maybe the second. This element looks really good. I will compare it to Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm, which will be my prediction of how the drop after the top hat will feel like. You plunge into the river, and finally, you will get into the best element of the ride, the Outer Banked Hill. This looks very similar to Steel Vengeance's Outer Bank Hill. You're taking it at pretty similar speed, and it will be insane. You are going to get some crazy, powerful, sustained ejector airtime, and this could be considered world class. The second to last element is the zero-G stall, which looks glorious. Hanging upside down for that long is just going to be insane, especially with a lap bar. This will be very similar to the zero-G stalls on the RMC coasters and maybe Velocicoaster too, which have some very good praise. Then to end off the ride, there are 2 switchbacks and a wave turn, pretty similar to the one on Elrod. Not the wave turn, but the twist and shout, where you twist and do like a small wave turn. but it looks like it's gonna give some really good airtime. Also, before this video ends, I want to give 2 shout-outs. First, to the Amusement Insiders, who gave me this amazing animation. Second, also, the Coaster Scoop, who gave that amazing off-ride footage of Pantheon. Let's get on to the rest of the video. So that basically concludes my ride on Pantheon. My predicted ride, at least. Do you think this ride will be the best coaster in Virginia? Or a top 5 coaster in the country? Tell me in the comments. And also, sub and like if you enjoyed. See ya.